time it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
P&P, what's up, everybody? Good evening, Dion. Good evening, Dion. Friday is Elvis's 30th birthday. Happy birthday. Hey, happy birthday. Rick A, I'll get to your questions in a minute. Hey, questions in a minute. Hey, you're asking some good questions. I'll get back to them in a minute. Lexi is in the building. Lexi is in the building. Yeah. Let's go. 540-054D episode. Baby. P&P. We chilling with the family. With Dr. C up in the house, you see. Yeah, fun as always. Another week, school days. We chilling in the lunchroom, eating some good food. Hey. Talking pro wrestling. P&P with the family. Episode 540, episode 540, 540 episodes, hanging in with your bro. Yeah. What's up, P&P? We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got some SummerSlam. We got some Ric Flair's last match. Woo. Ric Flair's last match. Woo. Ric Flair's last match, woo. Ric Flair's last match, woo. Ric Flair's last match, woo. Let's go, woo. All right. Let's see. Let's jump into these questions, man. Ricky is asking, hi, good fellow. What's up, my man? I believe that's the second time you've interviewed Chris Harris. No, that is actually my first time. I've never interviewed Chris Harris before. My first time interviewing Chris Harris. First time interviewing Chris Harris. Let me see if I can do something real quick. I want to see if I can do something real quick, actually.
Wrong.
There we go. give Ric Flair some shout out today. Let's see. This is what we're gonna do today. 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 Hey, what we're gonna do today? Hey. Let's see. Right, yeah. We'll give Ric Flair a little shout out. I'll have to put a sound bite. Give Ric Flair some love real quick. There we go. Very nice, very nice. That quick. Nice. There we go. Real that fast. Put a Ric Flair soundbite up in this night. So this is a Ric Flair's last match discussion. Let's see here. Reigns versus Lesnar was insane. Over 700 days as champion for your tribal chief. I'm glad that Reigns won. I think he should have won. I think it's a great call by pushing Reigns the way that they are. I'm a fan of it. 700 days champ. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's I said this on the show last night. I said Roman Reigns is what WWE is doing right. WWE is doing a lot of things wrong, but Roman Reigns is what they are doing right, and I'm a fan of it. I like it. I think you might not agree with me. I know you don't. I know you won't agree with me because you haven't before, but I stand by it. I think Drew should be the one that dethrones Roman Reigns. 700 days as champ. I think it's should be for the purpose of. I mean, it's good. I mean, you're building all that heat up to make somebody feel big when they win the championship. And I think the only two people that is even close to doing that right now would be Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. So I think Drew should do it at the castle. Do I watch indie wrestling? No, I don't watch indie wrestling. I watch enough wrestling to do my job as a journalist to get paid for it. I'm actually going to AEW live tomorrow, though. It's not indie wrestling, but it feels like it a lot. But I will be live at AEW tomorrow. Actually, it's coming to my city tomorrow night, and I will be there live. So, might do a Q&A. I might go live. I might go live either here or Sportskeeda, one or the other. Maybe. It depends on if it depends. It depends. If there's a dark match, I might do something with that. But it depends. It depends. Let's see. Little bit of Ric Flair real quick.
You that I
will never retire. Ric Flair said it. I didn't. All right. Bayley's return surprised me. No, it didn't surprise me. I wasn't a fan of it actually. I'm not sold on this trio. Not sold on it. Bayley's Bayley's return did not surprise me. I don't mind it. I don't mind Bayley returning at all. I just think it was really weird how it was. What I think would have been ideal would have been like this was a full circle angle between Bianca and Becky from last SummerSlam. So it makes perfect sense if Bianca has her shine, Bayley's still in the ring, and then you do some type of something, especially if she knows, especially if Becky is so what they do is They hug, they do the embrace. So there's your face tease right there. Bianca goes back, and then Becky is, selling. I mean, she legit injured her shoulder. So she's selling the shoulder injury after, embracing with Bianca. She goes in the corner, she's selling the injury. And then you have Bailey come out. Because at that point it feels as if Becky's already made the face turn. And then Bailey comes out, and I would have Io and Dakota Kai come like back to back. They stand there, and then Bailey come out. So Bailey coming out first really took a lot of steam away from Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. I mean, like it was like Bailey, and then I like Io Shirai a lot actually. Dakota Kai is, I'm cool with her being on the main roster because I know her contract was released. I mean, I know that she didn't want to renew her contract because she's been in NXT for years. So I'm actually in favor of her getting the main roster spot. But the way that they did it, not a fan. Not a fan. I think it took a lot of steam away from those two because people pop when Bailey came back, and then it took the shine away from Bianca, becoming champ. So, and then on Raw, they're like, it's not just Bianca and Bailey thing. It just doesn't. It just didn't make sense. Like make it make sense. That is a huge thing for me as someone who's super logical. And I have a PhD. I have a philosophy degree, so I'm super philosophical. And my philosophy degree is in psychology. So I'm very cerebral, and it's make it make sense, make it logical, like just make it make sense to me. And just coming out and simply cutting a promo that we still didn't really understand why they are even a thing on Raw. Like we still don't know. We don't know why they're a thing, and it just doesn't make sense to me. What is WWE doing with Edge? They're making him the rated R superstar again, which I think that could have waited, honestly. Build some more steam up with Judgment Day, and then have Edge come back. Like he's beating up a wounded Judgment Day. That doesn't help him at all. It just makes Judgment Day worse because Edge doesn't need to get over at all. And so at this point, what happens? Does Finn beat Edge? I mean, that would put over Finn, but Judgment Day is so much damaged goods right now that what is beating Edge going to do for Judgment Day? It's not going to do much. Elvis thinks I should be governor of Ohio. It doesn't sound like a bad idea, actually. I think Vince is still in hands-on in some way. Yes, absolutely. I can see Vince McMahon having like a control center in his house and calling a lot of the shots. Still people in the earpieces are still able to hear, "Come on, pal." Dion just watched SummerSlam 88 to 90. God, I miss the old days of wrestling. The tag team division storyline, awesome. Yeah, they were. Yeah, just fantastic. Yeah. Lexi, what do you presume that WWE found the funds for resigning all of the talent recently? For re-signing. Oh, okay, gotcha. They had them. they had them already. Like they release a lot of these people like right before the quarter meetings, right before the quarter check-ins, to make themselves look like they got all this income coming in now. And when they do the quarterly meetings, they're like, "Oh, okay, this is how much this is how much revenue we're making because we had a lot of money to give since we fired a lot of people." So yeah, they're not at a deficit of funds. And I think it's just a matter of them making themselves look good at the expense of firing a lot of people. Let me turn my candles on real quick. Let me get this ambiance together. I'll be right back. Hold on. Y'all can probably hear me do what I'm about to do, but I'm about to turn the camera off real quick and then turn on my candles. I'll be right back. I will never retire. All right. You guys hear me? Hear me, hear ye. Hear me, hear ye. There we go. All right. We are ready to rock. Okay. Oh yeah, it was painful. It was absolutely painful to watch. Painful. I watched the whole pay-per-view. The pay-per-view was decent. It was decent. It was decent. Like just okay type of decent. Like there were some decent moments, but it felt like a joint brand between it was a joint brand between AEW, Impact, and MLW. So it felt like that. It didn't have like a big feel to it, honestly. It was just okay. The main event match, the MVP of that main event match was 100% Jeff Jarrett. I mean, he was a fantastic heel. He did a great job. Jeff Jarrett got more shine than anybody else in that entire match. Anybody, and I'm a Jay Lethal fan. A huge Jay Lethal fan. But Jeff Jarrett is the one who got the shine in that match. He looked phenomenal. He looked great. Jarrett's always solid in the ring, so that was solid and safe. So he didn't have any issues there. He played the crowd greatly. He just did great heel work to make Flair look good. And he just really protected Flair in many cases. And then just the match was just so painful to watch. I mean, Lethal did the best he could. Flair came out staggering, Look, he definitely seemed like he was he had some alcoholic influence. And he even said on TMZ he doesn't feel normal not drinking, basically. Actually, I will even give you a quote of what he said on TMZ. He said, quote, he said, quotes, I don't do good when I don't drink at night. That's what he said. Very sad. Very sad to see that. Very sad to hear that. And you can definitely tell that there was some type of something from the very beginning. And throughout the match, just slow, sluggish. I don't know, man. It just seemed like he still wanted some shine. He really didn't need to do anything. I mean, Jay Lethal's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I wasn't a big fan of, that. It didn't feel star power-ish. Again, Jay Lethal's one of my favorite, but I would have definitely changed the match around. Andrade still didn't. It felt weird. Andrade is a heel. And I know that he's his son-in-law, but I mean, it just felt awkward. It just really did. As I said before, I think Jerry Lawler should have been Flair's tag team partner, because Lawler can still go in the ring. So it would have had that big fight feel to it. Jarrett on the other side representing, Tennessee as well as a heel. And I mean, anybody else could have been the other person teaming with Jarrett. Jarrett can go in the ring. Clearly, he's the one who would have carried the match if it was just some person for a hot tag for a heel, or at least having a short tag, I should say. The baby faces do more of the hot tags, but yeah, I mean, Flair didn't even have to be in the match for as long as he was. He bled, he did all that. It was just really painful to watch. And I really hope that we don't see another match from Ric Flair. I really don't. I mean, like and I mentioned this on a previous show. People know about Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler of all time. All right. And people know about Ric Flair. But if someone for some odd reason is getting into pro wrestling and doesn't really know too much about the history of Ric Flair and they only know him from, WWE days, you know, you're missing out on so much of Flair's heyday, which is the 80s. You're missing out on so much greatness there. And it's so sad to see so much greatness. Basically, the last image that we see of Flair is just in the ring, doing a figure four, trying to get the figure four in, doing the figure four, so gassed that he couldn't even put his arm up or raise up at all. He couldn't even sit on his elbows for, to basically get the pin on Jarrett. Because technically, according to old school figure four rules, Flair got pinned too. Both of their shoulders were on the mat. Both of them were flat down. And that means that Flair got pinned too. So that's how bad it was. It was painful. It was painful to watch. I was just looking at that like, oh man, Flair. Come on, man. Protect your legacy. Like, do the best. Like, just protect your legacy and just don't come back. Yeah, exactly, Elvis. I mean, how did Flair win when his shoulders were on the mat? He didn't win. There was no one to pin. Jarrett's shoulders were on the mat too, so if anything, it would have been a double pin. Does this mean that Jarrett could gripe? Does this mean that Jarrett can gripe about Ric Flair having his shoulders on the mat too? Which means that we'll get Ric Flair's last match too, with the main event of Jeff Jarrett versus Ric Flair. All right. Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's true. Flair was laying prostrate just like Jarrett was. I mean, he couldn't even rise up. That's how gassed he was. When did we get a room tour? This is the best you get right here. There's a sofa. I mean, there's a futon right there. It's a very loungy studio that I have, and then I have on the other side of my podcast studio, I have my office. But yeah, this is my bookshelf, my candles. I got a fridge in here, got a microwave in here, another bookshelf right there, and my guitar, my belts, and that's that. Next watch alone. I don't even know if I can do one because I'll get pinged like the last time. See my soundboard. I really don't want to mess around with it because, yeah, I may be. Ask me another time, Ricky. But right now, I have it where I want it to be. I don't want to mess up on any of the chords or anything. So ask me later. All right. Will I have a sign tomorrow saying hi to me? Great idea, but I might have to pass on that. The voice of baseball, Vin Scully, has passed away. How old was he? Praying for his family and friends. This month, no, not August. Most likely September. My schedule will be more open in September. So hit me up as far as September. But I got you, Ricky. I got you. No Cody, no Orton, no Becky, no Ronda for Clash of the Castle. Yeah, I know. Gonna be lacking a lot of star power. Yes, that is the rumor. That is the rumor. That is the rumor. I just I'm not really feeling Sasha like that, honestly. Naomi, absolutely. I've said this many times, I would push Naomi to the moon. I think Sasha Banks has done enough to, just I hope she's not taking someone else's spot because she's done enough. Now it's time for some people like Naomi, who's been there for a while. She had 2 hiccups of a reign as SmackDown champion, women's champion, but she needs to be legitimately pushed. TLT's in the building. A long time, just checking in for a bit. Could Logan Paul and Austin Theory be a WrestleMania attraction match? I can see that be interesting. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. And I would say Logan Paul gets the win there. But Logan Paul actually looks really good on SummerSlam. I was very impressed with Logan Paul. Kudos for me with Logan Paul. He did fantastic. Major kudos. Lexi, with so many unhappy talent willingly resigning from WWE, do I believe that there was an inside place to make VCAM look worse to the board of investors to force his retirement? An inside place. What do you mean? Like an insider in there? An inside place to make VCAM look worse to the board of directors to force his retirement. Well, I think his retirement was forced because he knew the crap was hitting the fan. And it started with him coming out on SmackDown and Raw to make himself look good, and all of a sudden more accusations were coming out. And he's like, oh, flip. I'm done. Yeah, it was good. It's good. Yes, it is. I have a fold. I do. Very expensive, but the camera quality is great. Lonzo's in the building. Now that Dakota Kai and Io Shirai are back, do you think Triple H will bring back any superstars that were released? Good question. I think he'll bring back Bray Wyatt, man. At least 1, 2. Undisputed Elites, I think they've got a couple years left on their contract, so that's a no-go. Who I would be really interested in him bringing back would be Judah, Bronson Reed. I was really, really big on Bronson Reed. I think he was fantastic. His theme song was great. Liked him as a babyface. He reminded me of a babyface Bam Bam Bigelow. Just he reminded me so much of like a Samoan Bam Bam Bigelow. And I think Bam Bam Bigelow is grossly underrated and should have been world champ in WWE at some point. And I'm glad that he ended up winning the ECW championship. But Jonah / Bronson Reed, that should be the one. If there's anybody, the people who've been released, Jonah, Cross would be another one as far as a major heel that would be good. I would build up Cross a bunch and then have him eventually lose to Bobby Lashley, like down the line, but have him be on like a huge run. Favorite match of SummerSlam? What are your overall thoughts? I just hopped on, so forgive me if you already discussed this. I didn't, so no problem. My favorite match was none of them really stand out. Becky and Bianca was good. Yeah, that stood out. Becky I saw her shoulder separation. It was just a bone, like it was bad, and like the bone was just popping up, and it was just like it was pretty bad. It was a really good match. Yeah, that's what stands out. Brock and Roman was just too chaotic to me. It was just all over the place, and it was hard to follow. I understand why they did what they did because they want to protect Brock. I get it, and plus Brock already lost to Roman 4 months ago, so I get it. I mean, that's a way to protect Brock with the way that they did. So I understand it. It was just hard to follow though, so that's why it wasn't my favorite match. I would say probably Bianca and Becky was my favorite. Drew doesn't defeat Roman at Clash of the Castle. Who do you think will ultimately beat Roman for the titles? I think if it's not Drew, it's going to be Cody, but I don't want that. I don't want that. Honestly, I don't want it. It should be Drew, and at the Clash. Elvis, I'm going to. I agree, Brian. It's been hard to watch for years. I agree. I'm going to have a root canal soon. When, man? Keep us posted. Sasha Banks and Naomi return to WWE soon. How would you book them upon their return? Remain a tag team or being singles? Give me some time to think about that. I think probably Vince Russo and I may do something about that as far as booking them. And we actually did. So follow Sportskeeda if you haven't, Alonzo. I know that you support me on Sportskeeda too. So we actually talked about that, about how to book them on Sportskeeda. So go to one of those Sportskeeda videos that we did, and we actually laid that out pretty thoroughly. What's in the fridge and when you're going to play guitar for us? I don't think anything. There was some Gatorade, but I don't know. I'm gonna check what's in it now. I think I might clean it out recently. But yeah, I mean, every now and then, I keep some waters and stuff like that. But I think I might be out. I have one here. So play guitar. I don't know how to. I'm not a guitar. I don't know how to play. That's one of my bucket list items is to play the guitar. I took about a month of guitar lessons about 10 years ago. It would end up being really expensive, and I definitely wasn't making anywhere close to the money that I'm making now. So I don't know. I was playing it like my 2023 bucket list item. I have a few bucket list items for 23, but one of them is to learn how to play guitar, and I think I'm going to go on YouTube and learn how to play because I know how to I know what it means. I know like grips and chords and things like that. That's what I was taught. So, but what'd be pretty cool though? You know how I sing at the end? I think that I'm gonna start doing some tunes from the guitar on PMP. So stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't, because my goal, I actually may start this by the end of the year. Either I'm gonna start end of the year, because when I start something, I go just, you know, knee deep in it, and even more a lot of times. I'm in it. I'm in it. You know, and not even more than knee deep. But I usually nosedive. I really dedicate my time to it, and so that's what a lot of times I say no to stuff because I know that I'm not going to dedicate myself enough for it. So with the guitar piece, I think end of next year, beginning of next year is when I'll start going into that. Well, we are starting to see small changes in WWE, mainly on commentary. Michael Cole was great at SummerSlam. Yes, he was. He was great. Michael Cole is definitely getting revived. It was good stuff. Do I think Leroy loses briefcase to someone instead of cashing in? You know, that's a good question, Brian. I think he should. I definitely think he should not be world champion within the next calendar year. I mean, he won it in June, so he has 10 months. So Theory's going to be undisputed. He's going to have both belts in 10 months. So theoretically, and within a 10-month span from now, Theory will be WWE undisputed Universal Champion. I do not see him being the top guy in 10 months. So I think him losing the case to Bobby Lashley would be super dope, actually. If he wants another title shot, yes, I'll give you your title shot, but I want your case to be on the line too. Therefore, case versus title at a big event, probably like a Survivor Series. Lashley defeats Theory, or even maybe even Clash at the Castle. But Lashley defeats Theory, and if I had my way, Lashley would be the one cashing it. Insiders forcing the issue, causing people to leak, because forcing the issue causes people to leak to the first sheets about the drama and alleged bath. So I imagine that it's some I imagine that it's an insider. I mean, I imagine that it's it's something spurred something which caused people to say to talk within. As far as who said the first thing, we shall see as the investigations unfold. Why didn't Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle take place at SummerSlam? So allegedly they wanted to extend the feud to another pay-per-view, which super weird. SummerSlam's the biggest pay-per-view of the summer, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Why would you want to save it for a minor pay-per-view? Since Riddle couldn't compete, Seth should have wrestled a mystery opponent instead. I suggest Johnny Gargano. I'm with you with the mystery opponent, not with you on Johnny Gargano. That no, I mean I like Johnny Gargano. I've interviewed him twice. Nice guy, fellow Ohioan. But as far as just some surprise star power feel, definitely a no. Does Ciampa beat Lashley next week? No. Yes, that is true. They could have seated over 70,000 people there, and they only had 48 and some change. And that might have been embellished, actually, because WWE likes to embellish their numbers. Yeah, I saw pictures of just the whole other side of the stadium was just tarped off. And so I'm like, oof, that's not good. That's not good. Like you can't overlook stuff like that. Like you can't even sell out half the stadium. Vince Russo said that it wasn't a bad idea, but I'm not a fan of it. I disagreed with him with that. Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of scariest wrestlers in the history of the sport? Papa Shango, Nails, Kane, and The Undertaker. I remember those four stand out for me as people I was like wrestlers I was like scared of. Like when Taker came out, I was scared. When Kane came out, I wasn't necessarily scared. At that time, when Kane debuted, I was in high school. So I wasn't scared. But I mean, he does, present a very intimidating presence. But I was definitely afraid of Nails when it came out. I thought like he legit like came out from the crowd and started beating up Boss Man. Like it was legit for me. And then Papa Shango, like just his feud with Warrior and the Black Goo and Warrior coming out, and he's doing his interview on the platform stage, and he's like Warriors, Warriors, and the black goo comes out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. Thank you, Tap Out. Yes, and the parents are ready to take them back to school. Very much so. Jimmy, if Kane returned for one more match in the WWE, who would you have him face? Always want him to see him versus Damian Priest. Actually, wouldn't be a bad idea. But legends come to put people over way too much now, and I'm not a fan of that. It's just no point. There's no point. Like that a legend's going to come back to make someone who already isn't booked strong. So both ends lose. There's no one's getting over here. So they do a terrible job of using their legends correctly. Theory's uncle passed away. That's why he wasn't on the Raw. Yes. Sad to hear that. Why do they embellish their numbers? Because it makes them look better. It makes them look better. It makes their image look better. Why do people embellish stuff? Because it helps, quote, helps their image. So the WWE embellishes numbers because it makes them look better to stockholders. It makes them look better. It makes their image look better. It doesn't make them look worse or less than. If you embellish, it boosts the ego of the company and it makes them look better. So they embellish their numbers. Let's see what else we got. Let's do a few more, and then the doc's got to get to bed, or at least relax. I'm a night owl, so I'll be up for a little bit longer, but at least get some relaxation. There was even talks of people in the back not being happy with the card. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people in Kentucky, horrible flooding. Yeah, praying for people in Kentucky for sure. I know you're a no school fan. Yes, I am. What are your thoughts about Bruiser Brody, Abdullah Butcher, and the original Sheik? I can't get into that hardcore style, but I get their impact. Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. I've never really been a big Abdullah fan. I met him in person too. He's Bruiser Brody had a huge impact, especially in Texas and Puerto Rico, especially in Puerto Rico. Huge guy, huge, intimidating figure. So, yeah, I get it. Original Sheik was important because it brought that, he brought that type of menacing heel, because like there was really like menacing monster or just like really like terrifying heels, because what that do is that makes the babyface look better. It makes them look good, that they can overcome these odds of being intimidated by them and being able to overcome them. So there was always a message in a babyface being a babyface back in the day. Let's see, with the rampant gossip surrounding Sasha and Naomi returning, what storyline could you see for them? Should they be heel or face? Definitely. See again, like, yeah. Subscribe to Sports Kita. Me and Vince talked about this for like 20 minutes, and so the short answer is, I think that Naomi should be a face and Sasha should be a heel, and Sasha should really focus on getting Naomi over as a babyface. And that's them coming back should be that focus. Naomi should be on top, should be the babyface. Why are they booking Happy Corbin so bad? He has a bright future booked correctly as he has beat Roman for the past in the past, but loses the past. I mean, Corbin's just a utility guy at this point. Like, he's just, he reminds me a lot like the Miz. I mean, like he's just there. I mean, that gimmick's definitely not going to make him world champ. So he needs to ditch the gimmick. I was just having this conversation recently. I think at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, that gimmick where he was like down the dumps, that should have turned into a heel, into a babyface turn. Just some random IG post of him hitting the lottery in Vegas, or hitting the slots. I think it was he hits the slots in Vegas. You spent months and months to build this for him to hit the slots in Vegas, and we get an IG post about that. Like, that was a really anticlimactical ending to this, bum A Corbin, right? Like, it should have turned into a babyface run because he was starting to get the sympathy from people. He could have became a babyface, and that could have shot him up to main event level. But it did this Happy Corbin thing, and it's flat, man. It's flat. When do a brawling brutes turn on each other? I don't see any anytime soon. Yeah, but it's a weird faction though. Super weird faction. I will say hi from Elvis next time I talk to old Black Bart. Old Black Bart. All right, family. Let's see. Lexi's asking, with Becky out for foreseeable future, how do you see the women's division shaping? Do you really believe Liv Morgan carries SmackDown? I think Liv Morgan's just Liv is just a transitional champion. I can see. I mean, I appreciate the grind. I mean, she says she wanted to be a wrestler since 5, and I get it. I mean, it's a feel good moment. It's a honeymoon stage that the people are really reacting to her right now. But people do that all the time. They have these honeymoon stages with these wrestlers, and they get tired of them because nowadays fans are fickle, and then they'll get tired of her just like they do every other wrestler. And unfortunately, we will see them getting tired of her very quickly. Unfortunately. All right. Where are we at? Here we go. Liv wasn't ready for the big time. Bro Corbin go more down on his luck. Yeah, I would have given him a little bit more time. Yeah, it was a real odd finish to that. All right, PNP. It's time to go. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. Thank you Thank you, PNP Nation, for another wonderful show. I can see this happening again. I agree to protect, live. Perhaps, maybe, we'll see. Thank you, Dion. PNP, I'll see you later. I'll see you